Hello everybody, my name is Federico and I would like to introduce you to this new application called SciResults. Imagine that you want to know the results of all scientific studies that analyze the effect of a given drug or treatment on a disease. Imagine that you have to do a literature review concerning the association between an exposure and an outcome in a specific population. The usual way would be to go, for example, in PubMed and search for all the studies related to your subject, then read and analyze them one by one. If you are lucky, somebody might have done a meta-analysis on the subject, but still, that isn't always the case. So wouldn't it be great to have a forest plot that keeps updating itself with all the new scientific results? This app is a step to move in that direction. The link should be on the screen and in the description of the YouTube video. The app is free and will always be. Now let's see what it looks like and how it works. In this space up here, you can type the exposure that you are looking for. This app is built to plot categorical exposures that can be defined with or without numeric thresholds. For example, it can be a simple categorical exposure, like being treated with IV iron with no specification of the dosage, or being a smoker or a drinker with no specification of the number of cigarettes or glasses per day. In this case, we'll have a look at TSAT, which is transferrin saturation, is a biomarker for the iron levels and its associations with different outcomes. Now we have selected heart failure, and in the plot we have the only one article which studied the association between TSAT of different ranges of TSAT and heart failure. I can add, let's say, other outcomes like cardiovascular mortality or all-cause mortality or cardiovascular event, and the plot keeps updating itself. So we have Kuragano that studied the association between TSAT 5 and 45%, and some of these outcomes. We will see which one right now. Here, so I can modify the threshold. Let's say I wanna only the articles that study TSAT between 0 and 20%. So I put 20 in the upper threshold. And now let's say I wanna modify the column. Maybe I want to visualize. I wanna see which outcome is related with which analysis. I can add, let's say, a fifth column, and here we have the outcomes. Here there is another input, that is the text size, because you have to adjust it to the size of your screen actually. So I reduce the text size and we can read it a little bit better. Let's say I wanna instead of the size of the population, I want to have the results. So I can have results and still the outcome. And here is 064, which corresponds to the dot, and 029, 142, which corresponds to the error bar. So I'm not sure I presented the columns. The first column is the author and the year of publication. The second one is the definition of the exposure. The third one is the reference class for each analysis. And then, of course, you can modify them. You can choose 2 columns, you can choose 3 columns. I mean, you can do pretty much as you like. You can choose 6 columns or 7 columns. You can also add, for example, add a second exposure in your analysis. Let's say exposure number 2 instead of the results. So we can see that this analysis has been done on patients that had TSAT between 0 and 20% and ferritin more than 500 nanograms per milliliter. So it's like when we are plotting an interaction. And also we can exclude some lines, like these dots have no confidence intervals. Maybe the confidence interval is very small, or maybe there's been a mistake. Anyway, I just want to show that you can take them out if you want. Is the line 34 and 32. Here there is another input, 34, 32, and it updates himself if you want to exclude these lines. You can, of course, download the plot as PNG, and so it could be included in a report later on, or you can download all the data as CSV in a table, and then you can do the plot yourself if you feel like. And we can move to the next paragraph, which is a study description. So here we can see a brief description of all the studies that were included in the forest plot. The study from Meta, we have the title, the journal of publication, the study plan, if it was a cohort, a meta-analysis, or a clinical trial, or a case control, starting year of the study, the final year, the main objective of the study, and the discussion, which is some comments you want to put about your results or bias or anything that you like. Then we can move to the population descriptions. It is very important to be able to have an overview of the characteristics of the populations included in the different studies, because this will allow us to better understand if we are comparing populations with similar or different characteristics. So we have the country of the study, main population characteristic, that is a characteristic that belongs to 100% of the population, basically one of the inclusion criteria. Secondary characteristic, something that you think it's important to describe your population, all the inclusion criteria, the non-inclusion criteria, and then data about the age and the sex ratio. And all these data are again plotted in the plot down here. So the height of the column is the sex ratio, now is the male sex ratio. It can be the female sex ratio if you change it. So we see that the study from Awan and Cho and Kovesdi have a small proportion of women, which means a high proportion of men. And we have the mean or median age, which with associated standard deviation or IQR, which is the error bar, and we can see that the median or mean or median age in all the studies was around 70 years old. Then there is the color of the bar that show us that in all the studies but the one of Kuragano have a population of chronic kidney disease, and the study of Kuragano was composed by a population of people in hemodialysis. Now the big question is, where are these data coming from? We go in the last tab, which is called Enter Your Data, and you can see that the data are uploaded from the users. For example, if you have written an article and you want to upload your results in the portal, you might just come here and enter the results of your study so that they will be available to everybody. Or if you have to do a literature review and you want your results to be quickly available for the people that will do research later on, you could also use this app. So to enter your data here, you have two links, one that leads you to a form in English and another one that will lead you to a form in French. These forms are built on this website that is called JotForm, that is a site to make forms, and they will include all the fields of the data that you found in the app. I suggest you to make a free account in JotForm, and this will allow you to later modify your submission. For example, if you made a mistake in writing a confidence intervals, or you want to add another results, or you want to modify the discussion, you can access your submission through the JotForm portal and modify them, and all the information in the app will update automatically. I will probably make another video about how to use this form, but it should be easy enough. So I hope you like the concept of the app. This is really a first version with plenty of space for new improvement. If you feel like leaving a comment, you can do it in the space below. And if you want to leave your email, also I will keep you posted when relevant updates will be coming forward, because improvement will come. So thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you a good day. Bye bye.